respond preemptively. That's what you need to do. Use that in every facet of life. Before you crash out, you already see what the crash out is going to look like. Sometimes no response is the best response. But when your freedom with an S, plural, is in peril, you cannot not respond. You have to act. You have to act before they force you to react. I'm going to say that again. And this applies to everything in life, in society, moving around, going through your daily business, politicking, talking to people, conversating, socializing. You have to act before you have to react. Now, you say, "Hey, what you mean by that?" If you're forced to react, that means you're forced to play the defense. You're forced to go with your first move instead of thinking things through. Instead of you premeditating, okay, if this happens, I already know that I need to do this, so that prevents me from going the emotional route. And the emotional route, that'll take me back to a place where I don't ever need to be, and that will put me in a position where I don't have all the cards in my favor. That'll put me at a disadvantage. With these societies, governments, they place, and I talked about this many times in my episodes of Think Pieces and Conversations. Governments cause chaos, especially dark governments. They cause chaos in order to be your savior. Exhibit A. This video that I'm about to play for you. This guy goes by the name of Keir Starmer. He is the Prime Minister of the UK. Not a guy that I like, never liked. I never thought he had a backbone. I always thought he was a puppet put in place to destroy the country of UK, to destroy London. And he keeps proving me right. So I'm gonna let y'all hear what he has to say, and then I'm gonna speak on it. You have to act before you have to react. That's the premise of this episode.
And that is why today I am announcing this government will make a new free of charge digital ID mandatory for the right to work by the end of this Parliament. Let me spell that out. You will not be able to work in the United Kingdom if you do not have digital ID. It's as simple as that. Because decent, pragmatic, fair-minded people, they want us to tackle the issues that they see around them.
You see, these are the guys, right, that I have no respect for. So this is a clip from whatever conference he's at, and at the bottom they quote him: "For too long, it's been too easy to come to this country illegally." Do you know where I'm about to go with this? I think you do. The smart people in the front of the stage watching me talk, they pay good money to stand in the front to get their drinks to hear what I gotta say. So I think they got a good idea of what I gotta say. They had all the opportunity, they had all the power to stop these immigrants that come from way different parts of the world. They civilize way differently. They live life way differently. A lot of them, it's very hard for them to even adapt, or what's the word, man? Just seamlessly become one with that country, become one with the pride of the country, to love the country, to work for the country and pay taxes, to enjoy the culture of the country and not try to change it from the inside out. These people, such as a Keir Starmer, such as whoever else is under him or over him in the UK, they all knew what they wanted to do. They all know that this was the final few years for them to get this digital ID thing off. Digital ID is one of the myths, not the myths, but one of the legends of what a dystopian future will become when the government knows where you are, know how you speak on social media, and they could, yo, give you rights or take away your rights because of how you speak, how you talk, what you eat, how much taxes you pay, how much taxes you don't pay, the opinions that you agree with, the opinions that you don't agree with. They can tell you, yo, you said this, we're going to take away your rights. You did this, we're going to take away your rights. You didn't do this, now you can't eat steak next week. You got to wait 2 weeks until you're out of timeout. This is where this is going with these guys like Keir Starmer, a puppet that's been put in place to destabilize and to bring forth a messiah. And the messiah is digital ID. Do you get it now? Do you understand how this playbook has been working for generations upon generations and will never stop working in a different fashion besides this? Do you finally get it? Do you finally understand where these things go and how deceptive these people are? Look at him. Does he seem like he's a stud to you? Does he seem like he has ever told his wife no to you? Does he seem like he has ever told the big stud in the room that said, yo, you're in my seat? Do you think, does he look like the guy that says, no, I sat here first, you can't get my seat? Does he look like that type of guy to you? He is here to take orders. That's all he's here for. He's not here to save y'all in the UK. And he's showing y'all, and he's about to put the final nail in the coffin. So now, back to the premise of what I've been saying in the beginning of this video. Now you guys have to react. The UK is reacting to what they're doing and did. Now they have to start a revolution. Now you got to go all the way to plan C in order to try to get back your country. You got to go all the way to the final plan. The final plan is revolution. It's a heavy protest. It's a non-stop protest. It's a wide scale disobedience to not take the digital ID. That's now you gotta fight back with everything you got. And if you was playing this thing correctly from the beginning, you would have already had things in place. You already had moves in place, premeditated, just in case they would have started this, and this would have stopped. The immigration would have stopped a long time ago. But unfortunately, Now they have to react. Keir Starmer has put the UK on their back legs with digital ID. The only thing they can do is revolution and disobedience. That's it. These digital ID cards and what the UK is going through is a premium example of what the US can go through if things get severely out of hand. So, what the US and the current administration, the Trump administration, is doing is taking things very serious, is responding early. A lot of people don't agree with these responses because they are all soft and they all don't know what it takes to put out a big fire. It takes a lot of water pressure, it takes a lot of power to take out this big fire that we got going on. These bases that have um that have factions of people and organizations that don't love America, that are being paid by billionaires that live in the shadows. Some of them are known by those who know. But these guys aren't famous. Or George Soros isn't that famous. They are known by people who's in tune with what's going on. These guys who fund Antifa, these guys who pay these construction companies to put piles and tiles of bricks in front of buildings so when riots happen, people could go right to the front of these stores and pick up a conveniently placed pile of rocks or tiles to throw and destroy these family businesses, these mom and pop stores, these stores that feed, heal, protect the community. They want to destabilize so that this their ultimate goal is to control. Every time when they destabilize, you look for a savior. They become your savior, but in order for them to save you, they take away a right or two. In order to save you, they take away a right or two. But you still don't see the play because you're too emotional. Nowadays, I'm about to go up 1 year in age. I'm about to gain another year in a week or two, right? So what I decided to start doing was to not respond to certain things. And if I do respond, it won't be an over explanation. It will be clear, concise, to the point. I pressed spacebar and I muted myself for 2 seconds. So we'll say that again. You guys take too long to respond. So when it's time for you to respond, these people in power see you, right? They see you, hear you talking, and they look at the last 9 times you said you was gonna do something and you didn't do it. You didn't stand on it. You did not stand on it. So when they make a particular move as aggressive as these digital ID cards, unless every single one of y'all or most of y'all disobey the digital ID, they're gonna keep going. They're gonna keep taking away your jobs. They're gonna keep firing you because the couple thousand they could get outlawed and pushed out of society. This is their slogan. We're trying to save you from the illegal immigration. We heard y'all speaking about illegal immigration. Look, this is our gift to you. This is our savior for you. This is our solution. Why don't you want to take it? The one thing I've known about, the world knows about absolute power, is that it corrupts absolutely. These digital ID cards are gonna make it way easier to find who you are and to control everything you do. This ain't about illegal immigrants. They could have been stopped that. They could have been closed the borders. The UK is about to become a Muslim society, just like a Dearborn, Missouri. You don't understand what's going on yet, do you? How long are you gonna take to respond? How long, bro? Respond preemptively. That's what you need to do. Use that in every facet of life. Before you crash out, you already see what the crash out is gonna look like. Sometimes no response is the best response. But when your freedom with an S, plural, is in peril, you cannot not respond. You have to act. All right. Now, speaking about a preemptive response or a timed response, a response that if you don't respond early enough, things will get worse, is what's going on with Trump and these ICE raids and the National Guard. A lot of people can't comprehend a hard decision such as this, a cleanup decision. A lot of people don't even take accountability for what they did and what they voted for in their city that got them destroying the city. The taxes pushed up. You got one mayor, famous mayor, you may have heard of him, Brandon Johnson, easily one of the worst mayors I've ever seen in my lifetime. He is putting up ice-free zones in the city. The city is $1.1 billion in a deficit. He has destroyed Chicago. But his hatred for Trump, because he don't like white people, obviously, he hates them. He'll rather destroy his city than to help his people. He'll rather destroy it. Shootouts every weekend in Chicago. Shootouts every weekend in Chicago. Shootouts every weekend in Chicago. Guess what he did? President gives him help or wants to give him help. He refuses it. J.B. Pritzker, the same thing. So, to all the people that's sitting in the back of the room that I'm speaking in right now, you're hearing this and you voted for this man, or you keep voting one way. You're not an independent thinker. These are the results of your choices, your actions. Yes, voting does matter. It's always mattered. The programming that you have fed into is voting doesn't matter because everybody, every ancestor, every elder in your family that has voted one way or hasn't voted at all kept walking into each of these same conversations with the same talking point, the same tired talking point. Voting doesn't matter. Why do I need to vote for? I got so much shit going on. I got so much stuff going on. I ain't got time to go vote. The hood has always been the same. We've been voting for the hood has always been the same. And then when you pull up the actual records of what percentage of the black vote actually votes every election, it's in the single maybe just touching onto the double digits. If you go into every neighborhood, it goes from just over the single digits into single digits when you go to each black neighborhood. 9%, 7%, 8% of the entire community votes. And when they vote, they only vote one way, which is which tells each politician that runs for these offices that they don't have to succumb to your needs and buy your vote because you already gonna vote for them anyway. So you have no negotiating power. This is how a Brandon Johnson gets in the office. This is how a Joe Biden gets in the office. This is how, who else can I say? A Barack Obama get in the office. The king of the LGBT community, the king, the kingmaker. He is the kingmaker, whether you like it or not. He wasn't a completely terrible president, but his full agenda, he has realized it and he has brought it into fruition. He's the reason why Oregon is how it is right now. Have you heard about what's happening in Oregon? Have you heard of the city of Oregon? I know you have. Let's pull up Mayor Johnson. Let's hear what he's talking about.
Order aimed at reining in this out of control administration. The order establishes ICE-free zones. That means that city property and unwilling private businesses will no longer serve as staging grounds for these raids. And today we are signing an executive order aimed at reining in this out of control administration. The order establishes ICE-free zones. That means that city property and unwilling private businesses will no longer serve as staging grounds for these raids.
You in Chicago, you watching this right now. You're the one that voted him in. The illegal immigrants that go to your school, that go to your hospital next door, right next to you. You've been going there for years. One day you get sick. One day your kid gets sick. One day your grandma gets sick. You gotta go to the emergency room. The emergency room is filled with people that don't speak English. It's filled with people that don't speak English. You waiting on help. Your loved one is hurt. They can't get in. It's overran. Because the people that's really in power, the people that made the move to open the borders in the previous administration, they're the ones that stop your parent, your kid, your loved one from getting that needed attention, that right away attention, because you voted them in, because you're ignorant, you're ill-informed, you're emotional, you are just downright stupid. Because not just because of the things I just said before, it's this last and final thing that I'm about to say. You refuse to grow and learn and to question because you can't get out of that same mental cycle that you've been in, that your grandmother put you in, that your mom put you in when it came to voting. You have never asked questions, a challenging question, which is a question that questions their belief in whatever they believed in order and whatever they believed in that was right for their people or their city or their community or their taxes or their property taxes or their employment or their health care or their immigration or their migration or their safety in the city. You are absolutely ignorant and you should be ashamed of yourself. But look, you're still alive, you're still breathing, so you have another shot to get better at this, to think outside the box, to change your friend group up. Get out of your city, start over, find a better job, work on better habits, working out, exercising, eating right, meditating, cleaning up your friend group. You have that opportunity as long as you're breathing, but you're too comfortable in your ways, set in your ways. You're scared to lose, you're scared to fail. You've been taught fear and never learned to work around it because you're a coward. How long are you gonna keep waiting? How long are you gonna stay in your comfort zone? Yeah, getting rid of friends is uncomfortable. Yeah, talking debates in politics is uncomfortable, especially if everybody in that conversation are also ignorant and you just kind of stepped out of your ignorance and you starting to question things. You starting to realize, yo, this ain't right. It's never been right. Somebody's actually in the office trying to do something about it. This ain't about good and evil, bro. You still think this is about good and evil. This is about control, power, education, what you do know, what you don't know, the tactics that's being used by every politician that keeps swindling you and telling you, that been telling you, yo, we're gonna help out the black people, or this guy is bad. You need to think that Trump is bad because we said that Trump is bad. You need to bring in these Muslims in your country to destabilize your population because we're nice and you need to do it. You need to bring in um these people from these nations that use Sharia law, that tell their women to cover up. Nah, y'all can't drive because we're nice. That's the problem. You don't need to be nice. You need ice. A lot of your states need ice. Not just the group that cleans up your city, that takes out illegal immigrants. One of them that I heard the other day had been in the country illegally for 30 years, had a teacher job, a superintendent job, was making $200,000-$300,000 a year, had multiple gun charges, ducked off, had dates where he had to leave the country but kept ducking these dates and they finally got him. Your country needs ice. What I mean by that, not just the organization that takes out your illegal immigrants, like I was just saying. You need ice, as in your city is beat up, you were bruised, you are damaged, and you refuse to do anything about it because you're a coward. You're a coward out of ignorance. This was another episode of Think Pieces and Conversations, man. I appreciate y'all tuning in. I said a whole lot. I said a lot. I got into a crazy rant. But it's something I had to say with my chest. I'ma holla at y'all, man. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe to the channel. Check me out on every single podcast platform on the internet. Think Pieces and Conversations. Catch me on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter. Hit me up. Don't be afraid to ask a question. I'm out of here, man. Don't be a coward.